This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
And welcome indeed to Stockbox. I'm Debbie Bell-Hosking, and I'm joined by Clarissa Shoei-Mimo of OCTP. And Clarissa, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thanks, Debbie. Great to be here.
Well, it is good, isn't it? Because we've got breaking news, have we not, about MHRA approval. I'll let you take the stage on that.
Thank you so much. Yes, we're all very excited here today. We have finally got our MHRA approval for our first Phase 1 clinical trial for our lead compound, OCT 461201. Our research partner, Simbec Orion, is, as we speak, hot-footing it around to start recruiting those healthy volunteers, and hopefully we'll be administering our first dose of 461201 in the coming days.
Wow, so that is very exciting news. And of course, these things don't happen just like that, do they? What's the process for?
No, that's right. So I'm sure your viewers will be aware that we filed our clinical trial application on the 4th of January. So the normal process in terms of timelines is there ought to be a response from the MHRA within 60 days of filing. Obviously, we're some way past that deadline now, and I think it's no secret that the MHRA is very stretched and struggling for resources at this time. So lots of other people, as well as us in the sector, having these delays, but we are absolutely delighted to finally have that approval. And of course, you know, we're all very excited to be getting going on the trial itself.
So that's the journey of approval. What's next?
Well, what's next is really getting going. So as I mentioned, Simbec Orion, our clinical research organization partner, are now out there recruiting healthy volunteers for the trial to start. In the background, as you'll imagine, we've been waiting for this MHRA approval. Our team, together with Simbec, has been working very hard to make sure that we can hit the ground running on this sort of day one approval. So that's all now beginning to pay dividends because we really are ready to go, and it's all very exciting here at OCT.
Well, for the viewers that are watching, can you tell us a little bit more about the product itself? And of course, there is a problem you're trying to solve with your product.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. So OCT 461201 is targeting chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy, or CIPN for short. That's a market size of 1.61 billion and growing, and a real problem to solve because about 60% of patients who are undergoing chemotherapy end up developing CIPN, and it's a condition that's very unpleasant. So it causes ultra sensitivity, sort of pain and sensitivity to heat, to cold, to touch in the extremities, so hands and feet. And it's so unpleasant that many patients actually discontinue their chemotherapy. So it's a big problem to solve. There are no current treatments out there at the moment either. So that's the initial target, CIPN. The great news with this compound as well is that it has shown some significant potential in other indications. So we've got some great preclinical data for IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. Again, market size there is about 2.1 billion at present and growing. And of course, you know, we know that it's not well treated by current medications out there. We've also got potential in other neuropathic conditions. And I think probably one thing to take away from this interview for viewers is that the message that I know you'll remember, of course. When we've done our phase 1, we only have to do that once. So when we go into indications, we expand out into other therapeutic areas. We don't have to repeat that phase 1. We can go straight into a phase 2, which is obviously hugely value accretive for shareholders, for the company itself. Big value inflection point there.
Right, lovely. Thank you, Kirsten. And of course, breaking news today with your MHRA approval. We've had a bit of background on that. I've been told you've been in the news for another reason as well, about your workplace.
Yes, that's right. We were very, very pleased on Sunday earlier this week to receive acknowledgement from the Sunday Times Best Place to Work Awards 2023 in partnership with WorkL. It was the first time we'd entered, and you know, we're a small team, but clearly punching above our weight because we were successful in that competition. So we are very delighted to have that result. Really pleasing for the team, and you know, testament, frankly, to all the hard work and the great collaborative way that my team really works together. So it's really nice to have that external acknowledgement of that. I think just before we move on from this current news, though, as excited as I am to talk about the Sunday Times, I do want to just flag that, the current trial that we have for CIPN is fully funded from our current cash flow. That takes us all the way through to Q1 of next year, so end of Q1 next year. And the other good news on this trial is that it's not a long trial. I know you'll be aware that some trials can take months, if not years. This one is about 12 weeks from first dose into healthy volunteers. So it's very short in clinical trial terms, and we're expecting results now for that at the end of the summer. Without the delay from MHRA, we would have had results early summer, but we're only waiting a little bit longer. So it'll be end of summer when we have those results, and we'll be hopefully then ready for phase 2 for this compound. And again, another exciting inflection point for the company.
Absolutely. So we've got phase 2 to look forward to now that we've managed to get beyond the hurdle of phase 1. And Clarissa, as we bring this interview to a close, is there anything you'd like to say to prospective investors out there or add to the end of this interview?
Great question. So absolutely. One thing I would say initially is a big thank you, I think, to our existing investors for the faith and the patience that they have shown as we've been waiting for this very important announcement, this really important step for the company. Moving from a preclinical pharmaceutical company into the clinic is a really big step that actually not many startup biotechs get to achieve. So the fact that we've managed to do that within, in fact, just shy of 2 years of our original listing on the London Stock Exchange is a fantastic achievement. But I'm super grateful to our shareholders who've really kept the faith and been helpful and supportive over this period, particularly while we've been waiting for this approval to come through. And then secondly, and maybe finally, we have also got our other 3 drug development programs ongoing. I hope to be back to talk to you and your colleagues about them soon, but suffice to say there are some interesting developments coming up. Can't share anything just yet, but I hope to be back to you with an update on those very soon.
Lovely. Well, Clarissa, on that note, I look forward to speaking to you again and hearing what you're going to pull out the bag next. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Debbie.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.